Thank you, Brother Chairman. Last month, I asked the President's nominee to lead the Federal Reserve what I thought was a simple question, but he tried to dodge it. His answer was cute. I'm not sure the American people who were struggling were laughing. So I'll ask you the same question to see if I can get a clearer answer. President Trump has said that his grade of the economy, his words, is a quote, plus, 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 plus. He said this before he sent energy and gas prices soaring with this illegal war in Iran, a war that's costing taxpayers billions of dollars, $1 billion or more per day, turbocharging inflation. So I'll ask the Secretary of the Treasury the same question. Given all of the challenges facing ordinary Americans, our political differences aside, what grade would you give the U.S. economy right now?
Which challenges other than temporarily elevated prices would you identify, Senator?
I'm asking you, what grade would you give the economy?
I think we have the makings of one of the strongest economies in history. We've had 2.6% growth.
So
and core inflation had dropped. Food inflation since President Trump began, as much as you all they want to disagree.
I got it.
It's 2.5%.
So you agree with the president? You would give the economy a plus.
I think we have all
from where you sit.
I think we have all the makings for a very strong economy. I think that we have temporary elevated prices will come back down.
I got it. So you're telling Americans it's not so bad. Americans give the Trump economy a failing grade. You and I can disagree, but this is not about us. They give the economy a failing grade because they can't afford anything. Folks back at home at Georgia, whom I represent, are struggling. Let me finish. To just make their lives work. And they know President Trump's Iran war and the tariff taxes are only making things worse. Talk to farmers in Georgia, they'll tell you that. But I'm not so sure folks fully grasp the long-term crisis that's also brewing for our children and our grandchildren. Wars do not pay for themselves. And this year, under the Trump administration's economic policies, the $31 trillion national debt exceeded GDP for basically the first time since World War II. Think about that. Now, to be fair, debt did exceed GDP during the COVID-19 pandemic, but that was only briefly, as GDP crashed as a result of a once-in-a-century pandemic. The big ugly bill alone will add nearly $5 trillion to the national debt, something that I do care about, and I think it matters. I think it's interesting that Republicans talk about it when Democrats are in charge, but I haven't heard much discussion about the national debt lately. According to our nonpartisan scorekeepers in the Congressional Budget Office, it will add $5 trillion to the national debt. Do you still think that driving deeper into debt to extend billionaire tax cuts were a good investment?
Sir, that 90% of the filers who availed themselves on President Trump's signature policies make below $100,000. And if you want to know who is responsible for the American people, you all torched them during the Biden administration. I'm not sure if you were part of that. But we had 21.5%.
Look, Joe Biden has been out of office 2 years, and the fact that you all keep talking about it tells you everything. Sir, I'm asking you a basic question. Do you think that going into debt to extend billionaire tax cuts was a good investment? Yes or no?
I disagree with the categorization of billionaire tax cuts when, in fact, most of the tax cuts went to working Americans.
Senator,
you were quoting the Congressional Budget Office, which
according to the Yale Budget Office, the Yale Budget Lab.
The Yale Budget Lab is a bunch of Biden hacks.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you should talk to the people in Georgia. They will tell you, sir, that whatever tax relief you think you gave them was more than taken up by these tariffs. According to the Yale Budget Lab, the administration's tariffs cost families 3 times as much as they got back in tax cuts. But I'm not talking to folks at Yale. I talked to the folks in Georgia. How about the Iran war, which is costing tens of billions of dollars and counting? You previously said we have plenty of money for the war. Wars increase the national debt. Is that spending still a good idea, sir? Yes or no?
Sir, do you think it's a good idea to spend so that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon?
Sir, I'm not, sir, do you think it's a good, so you do think it's a good idea?
I think preventing.
You think the Iran war makes?
I think just as many people historically, when President Obama was in office, said that Iran may not have a nuclear weapon.
President Obama left office in 2016, sir.
I know, but I'm saying there are many people on this committee who said Iran should never have a nuclear weapon at any cost.
I agree with
and
that. They should not have a nuclear weapon, and they're closer thanks to this administration's policies.
Absolutely
and
not,
the
sir.
Strait of Hormuz is still closed. And you should tell the people in Georgia that this war is a good idea. I think they'll disagree. Thank you very much.